Good morning, everyone. PatBenage here, the evolution coach, creator of the 6-Week Shift, the Inner Path, and author of this inspirational blog, SoulTalk. And this morning, what I'd like to talk about, I've been talking about soul's journey for the past several weeks now, and talking about who we are and how we get to this place and where we are in the moment. And what I want to talk about today ties into all of that, of course, but I'm going to take a little different approach than I have the last several weeks, in that I'm going to speak to your mind for a minute. And the ego, and ask a couple of questions. The first question is, what voice are you listening to? What voice are you listening to? You know, I've talked about this multiple times, but we all inherently know what is true for us. Somewhere underneath all of these layers that we've piled on, all of the filters, all of the karma that we've created for ourselves, somewhere underneath there, we know, somewhere inside, we know what's true for us. But in the moment, what seems to be true might not be what's true. And so the critical factor in, you know, who you are, who you're being in the moment, is what voice are you listening to? Because there are lots of voices, you know, and they're not actual voices, but there are lots of things and aspects of who you are that are calling for your attention. They're calling to you to give them your power, to express the truth that's within them in this moment. And so each voice, if we want to use that term, I'm going to use that term today, each voice is asking for something from you and telling you how to proceed. So what choice I make in any given moment is based on which voice I'm listening to. So the thing that's so challenging in this process is that there's only one true voice in all of that. There's only one true voice. And that true voice comes from Source, through the inner master that resides within our being, which communicates through soul, which then has to communicate into our consciousness through all of those layers that we've piled on over lifetimes. And so all of those layers that we've piled on, all of those karmas, all of those engrams and different effects that we're having to work through, all of those are speaking to us in any given moment. Whether it's a desire that we have for an object, or for a feeling, or for a relationship, or for whatever it is, you know, in this moment in time, in our culture here, and I'm going to speak specifically to this the sort of, not necessarily just new age or new thought, but this spiritual movement that is present at this moment in time for a lot of people. I'm going to specifically talk to that. And because those are the people that are listening to me. And so I want to speak directly to you. And within that group, and this may not apply to you specifically, but it applies to a lot within that. There's this desire for abundance. And in all ways, abundance, okay? Which is certainly a great thing. There's nothing at all, I'm not being judgmental at all about that. There's nothing wrong with abundance. That is our nature. We are abundant. But there's this desire for abundance, and that desire is based on an idea that there's something out here that we want more of that we don't already have. And so the voice that we're listening to in that moment is the voice that says, I don't have it. I'm not abundant, that I'm not this inherently abundant being that has all that it needs in every moment. So you're listening to a voice that is less than truth. And I don't mean, you specifically, you might not be. But my experience and my observation is that within this spiritual community, there are a lot of people, and I look at it because if you look at what people in this community, the leaders within this community, if you look at what they are teaching, much of what they're teaching is about abundance, and that they're doing that because you're buying it. You're asking for it. It is this desire to have abundance that is influencing your choices. It's the voice you're listening to. Now, for you, it might be something completely different. And the thing is that there are, like I said, there are many, many, many voices that are speaking and trying to find expression through you. And so they're demanding your attention. They're demanding that you pay attention and that you give them a means of expression and satisfy that, whatever it is, whether that's this desire for abundance, whether it's desire for a love relationship, whether it's a desire for higher truth, whatever it is. What is the voice that you're listening to? And so in this whole process of this spiritual journey, I've talked about we get distracted by all of the stuff going on, and it is these voices that are directing us. It's whichever voice we're listening to, that's the one that's directing the choices that I'm making in this given moment. And so it's extremely important for you personally to ask this question: what voice am I listening to? when you've asked that question and you're looking at the answer and you're wanting to know, okay, so this voice that I'm listening to, is this voice truth? Is this true? Is this the voice that I ought to be listening to in this moment? Is this voice expressing my highest interest, my highest benefit in this moment? Because what we ultimately want is we want life to be better than what it is. And that doesn't necessarily mean that life is bad for us right now. It's just that we're always looking to improve what we have. You know, we get satisfied for a while sometimes, and it's beneficial to enjoy what we have. You know, and that's a whole different subject. But so I'm not saying that you need to not like what you have, but it's our nature. We're always growing. We're always expanding. We're always becoming more. And so there's this desire to be more. And to be more, to have more, to do more of whatever. So is that voice that's speaking to you in this moment, is that directing you toward your highest good, your highest benefit? And how do you know? How do you know? How do you know if it's for your highest good or not? Well, I'm going to give you some clues about that have at least been very beneficial for me in deciding which voice to listen to. And the number one thing is that voice speaking from a place of you know, and there's a variety of ways to say this. It's love or fear. Is it speaking from love or fear? And love and fear are essentially opposite. I've talked about this before. They're opposite ends of the spectrum of one thing. Because fear is really the idea that, I've said this before somewhere, it's the thought that love might not exist everywhere, and that I might find myself in that place where love does not exist. And that's my definition of fear. It's not a truth. There is nowhere that love does not exist. But we can believe that. We can perceive that to be true. We can have that thought and that idea, and having that thought and believing that thought creates fear within us. Now, love manifests in all kinds of ways. And so that love versus fear applies to any situation that you might be in. But you could also say, you could have that be abundance or lack. You know, does it speak from a place of abundance or a place of lack? Same sort of thing. It's love or fear. Is the voice inside, does it see me as limited or without limits? Again, same thing. Without limits, love. Limited, fear. Is this making any sense to you? I hope it is. I hope it's making some sense to you. That it's not something that you already know, that you've already gone through. And even if it is, I suspect there's a deeper level I mean, for me, that's always the case. If I'm hearing things multiple times, there's a reason I'm hearing it multiple times. It's because there's more to get from that. And so I hope that you'll look a little deeper if that's the thought that's coming into your head now, is that, oh, I know all this stuff. I've been there. I know all this stuff. And I say now, I have been there. I've been in that place where I've said, I know all that. That's nothing new. Of course it's not anything new. Nothing's new. All exists. All is complete. Except our experience of it. And so, what I'd like to ask of you is to simply notice what voice you're listening to. And is that coming from a place of fear or a place of love? Is it a voice that says that you are limited in any way, or is it a voice that says you are capable of all things? The truth is only that voice that says you need nothing. That's the other thing. If it's coming from a place of need versus a place of passion, and I passion in a way that it says that I just love this so much that I just want to experience more of it. Not that I need it, but that I just want to express it. I want to have a way to express it more and more and more. So I want more of that experience. Not that it's something that I don't already have. If the voice is talking about or giving you the idea that you don't already have all that you need, it's not the truth. It's not the truth. And I know there are some of you right now that will say, but what about this? I don't have this. I don't have this. I want more of this. I don't have it. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough spirituality. I don't have enough information. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough wisdom. Anything that says you're not enough, that's not true. It's not true. You might not be experiencing it in this moment, and that would be true. But to say that you are not that is not true. And so any voice that denies your truth is not true. It's not your true voice. It's not that voice which, if you are looking to experience the fullness of yourself, it's not the voice for you to listen to. And so if that's the case, and if all the voices you're hearing are that way, then look deeper. Look through it. Find the voice that most closely matches your truth. And start there. Start there. You know, listen to the highest voice that you can hear in this moment. And sometimes, when you can't hear it inside yourself, you can't hear it coming from inside yourself, then that's why I am here expressing my truth. That's why I'm here offering my experience and expressing who I am, in order to give you the opportunity to at least open up to the possibility that there's something that you're not seeing, something that you're not hearing, that might be a higher truth. So that, and there's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about PatBenage. I'm no different than you. My perspective is different than yours. That's all. Who I am inside is the same that you are inside. And so now, I've been speaking to the mind and the ego to try to wake you up, but now I'm speaking directly to soul. Directly to soul. Soul to soul. Soul to soul. What a beautiful experience that is. Connecting soul to soul. It's just an amazing experience. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. We are one. We are one. Time to wake up. Time to make your voice heard. Time to express yourself in this moment through your vehicle, as I am through mine, in your own way, not the same as me, because we need all the perspectives. We need all of the viewpoints. We need all of it to experience all of it. Thank you so much for being here today. I love you all. I'm so overwhelmed sometimes at just this connection. When we make this soul-to-soul connection, it's amazing. So I thank you again for being here with me, for listening, for helping me to express, because those of you that are here listening, you know, even though it's after the fact, because this won't come out for a couple of weeks, but you draw out of me what needs to be, what I need to say, what I need to express in this moment. So I thank you. I thank you. And listen to the voice of truth within you. Listen to my truth and allow it to spark your own truth from within. And listen to that and embrace that and be that. And live your life from the inside out. Thank you so much. See you next week.